Hi, my name is Rachel and welcome back to my channel. Today, by viewer request, we have another Authors Behaving Badly. Today's author is J.M. Arlen. Thank you to the commenters who requested this guy. I had not heard of him before and this was quite a rabbit hole, especially because I am not a Reddit user. I don't understand that website, so perusing it was a experience. Today's writer spent $2,500 and 7 years of his life, according to him, to create the bestest fantasy book, and after a week it had only made 5 sales, which apparently was unacceptable to him. He took to Reddit to complain about this, which resulted in him getting more sales but also feedback. He did not like this feedback and he threw a huge tantrum, so let's dive in. Actually, real quick, listen, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to like channel Drew from TikTok, who I do love, but why does this man look like Rasputin? Why does he look like he is trying to destroy the entire Romanov line? Where is Anastasia? Somebody warn her. And to be honest, he kind of channels that retaliative nature that our main man, Rasputin has. It's not a good look. 2 months ago in April, J.M. Arlen released his book, and after a week of only getting 5 sales, he took to Reddit. Writing feels pointless. Perspective from an author. I love writing. My whole life I've loved to write. Being able to pick up a pen, set it against a blank piece of paper, and make a world come to life is one of the most enjoyable things I've ever done. Back in 2015, I decided to write a full-length novel and it came together very well. I didn't have a lot of experience with the writing industry at the time, but I was convinced that if I took the time to write a story that was good, I mean really, really good, spare no criticism on myself, rewrite every page, every word to be better, make the plot interesting, the pacing off the charts, the characters believable, likable, inspiring heroes, the villains depraved, angry, and scary, but many of them relatable and deep, a world that you'd want to run away to, a sense of adventure and magic that would be impossible to deny. I got beta readers, hired an editor, paid for an awesome cover, set up a website, social medias, wrote a blog, ran ads. I've spent $2,500 bringing my story to life, and 7 years of sweat, blood, and tears trying to make it perfect. Whenever somebody says sweat, blood, and tears, my mind immediately goes, what exactly were you doing that you were bleeding? Was it like 1 drop? Was it more? What are you doing? Like crying I get, but bleeding? You were bleeding. I'm not trying to judge, like I don't want to kink shame, but like what's happening? And now I can't get anyone to read it, not even my own family. 5 sales. That's what all my hard work panned out to. I love my story, so in a way I really don't care if anyone else doesn't. But as far as financial viability goes, I'm beginning to see that it's just not worth it. I can't afford to do all that twice for no return. I never expected to make millions, but I certainly wanted more than 5 people to read it. So if you are thinking of getting into writing, heed my warning. Hard work will not make it work. He then got some feedback which caused him to add some edits to this post. Edit 1. Thanks for all the awards. What? I'm still reading all the responses. I appreciate all the helpful advice. Edit 2. I hear your advice and feedback. I appreciate it all very much. There's always more to learn for everyone in life, so we are all just students of whatever school in life we choose. I still think many of you have a different opinion if you read the story. I spent a long time on this and I might just surprise you. Thank you all again. Oh boy. Edit 3. Drop It Shock is posting a description he's well aware is an old version in his comment. If you'd like to read the current one, you can find it on my website or Amazon page. Edit 4. At the time of writing this, I'm up to 24 sales. Thank you to everyone who's actually willing to read the book before forming an opinion on it. I really appreciate the support. Oof. Immediately you can see the problems. In Edit 2, he claims that many would have a different opinion. I think what he means is you should have a different opinion. And he says he spent a long time on it, which is always a red flag for me because people tend to say that thinking that it means something. Just because you spend a long time on something does not necessarily mean that the product is good. For instance, it took my 5-year-old like an hour to poop the other day, and it's not like that poop was extraordinary. Was that too far? Should I be making fun of my 5-year-old here? The line's blurry. One time I spent an awful long trying to draw something just from stencil. I don't have any artistic talent. Even though I took a long time making it, it just wasn't good. And that's okay. And sometimes we set time to make like incredible baked goods that take like an hour to produce and then they taste like ash and sadness. It happens. Sometimes the length with which you toil over something does not equal a good product. And anyone who makes that comment regarding books, immediate red flag for me. In Edit 3, you could see that he got snippy with somebody whose username is Drop It Shock. And Drop It Shock had given the synopsis from Amazon, and apparently that was upsetting for Arlen. Anyway, he gave the synopsis and then he gave some feedback. He then read the first page and gave feedback on that. On Amazon, your description reads, says Drop It Chuck, when Mamie was born, she was given Mikhail's crystal, a rare and powerful stone that granted her the ability to see the Torchwings, a race of magical creatures that could raise fully grown forests in seconds. I just realized that he used the word raise, R-A-I-S-E, and he meant raise, R-A-Z-E. Woof! Oh wow. Oh wow. Anyway, because of this ability, King Duke Mott believes Mamie is the key to curing the Grey Death, a sickness that starves and drives its victims to silent madness. But when Mamie's long-lost friend Veronica arrives to steal Mikhail's crystal, Mamie loses control of the power forever. Forced to flee, Mamie tries any solution she can to restart her connection to the stone until she meets Sean, a teenager from our world. That feels like almost breaking the fourth wall in a way. Anyway, Sean, a teenager from our world who has no idea of the danger he's about to get wrapped up in. In a world where no one can be trusted, Sean and Mamie fight to save the Torchwings and the last forest on Talmoria before King Duke Mott can carry out his evil plan and destroy them once and for all. Arlen's complaint was that was the old synopsis, so here's the new synopsis. Beyond the dimension doors is a land called Talmoria, a land that doesn't exist. What? So beyond some doors there's a land, but that land also does not exist. So is there a land or is there not a land? Already you can see the problems. Where crystals carrying incredible powers once came down from the stars like rain. Among them was just one blue stone, the most powerful of all the magic crystals. For years the stone lay dormant, lost to the decay of time until it was given to Mamie by King Duke Mott. I cannot say Duke Mott. Duke Mott. Duke Mott. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna call him King D. Now only she can control its power. Only she can decide the fate of the land and solve an incurable disease. But when she learns that the price to cure that disease is the lives of all the Torchwings in the south, she can no longer stomach what she has to do. Mamie must decide if she's brave enough to give up everything she used to know for what she believes is right, at the risk of the extinction of an entire species. The second one is marginally better, I guess. It's shorter. It's a little more to the point. However, Drop It Chuck's critiques of the synopsis work for both, in my opinion. Drop It Chuck said, unfortunately, this fails to differentiate itself from other fantasy novels I've read. It's cluttered with proper nouns and doesn't describe who our characters actually are. There's so much going on that you simply drop a teenager from our world into the mix without so much as giving context to what that means. Is this an alternate Earth, a fantasy world? I'm confused as a reader, and confusion isn't going to make me buy a book. That's fair feedback. Apparently not to J.M. Arlen. I know you've been waiting for me to make a joke about J.M. Bottlenose and J.M. Arlen. Yeah, I don't know what the connection is when your name is J.M. and writing shit books and having tantrums. I don't know. I couldn't think of a good joke. We'll end that here. Put your best one in the comments. What did I just call her? J.M. Bottlenose? Is that even a thing? Oh boy. So as I said, Drop It Chuck gave fair feedback, and in fact there was a lot of fair feedback after his "I only got 5 sales in a week" post. The problem is that he was not willing to receive the fair feedback, and then he got belligerent. People pointed out several issues in this book. So the cover is not the worst cover ever, but as you can see, it's not likely to grab a reader's attention because the art is not spectacular. There's some bits of it that are kind of weird. Her hand seems kind of disproportional to the rest of her. They asked if he had taken feedback from beta readers and actually implement it. The fact that winter is coming is said in dialogue on the first page. In fact, it's like the second sentence of dialogue in chapter 1, page 1. Unironically, that's yikes. And there were fair questions asked about the marketing, such as, did you put advanced reader copies out? What was your social media presence like? It was also pointed out that, again, he made this post only a week after having published the book. So not only did he seemingly not market effectively, he only waited a week before complaining about low sales. He also, and it was pointed out to him, that he had set the price at $8.99 or $9.99, depending on which Reddit user you ask, immediately, from right off the bat, which is way more than people are willing to pay for a no-name, first-time, self-published author with a poor cover and a synopsis that is not well written. Then people started noticing that the feedback he was getting might have been from sock puppet accounts. I regret to tell you, gentle viewer, that this trend continues and it gets worse. A Goodreads reviewer with the username Boomer wrote a very fair 2-star review explaining that Arlen's book was a cookie-cutter fantasy with forgettable characters, cheesy dialogue, and clunky world building. And then at the end, in the acknowledgments of his own book, Arlen had written, "If you'd like to thank me back for writing such a great book, a review is the best way to show support." Rasputin, no, baby, no. And then on Reddit, Boomer hopped into the thread and was giving more feedback. And then the author got real upsetty spaghetti. He said, "Got a review where I was called arrogant and entitled for expecting people to pay $2.99 for a book I spent 7 years writing and editing." First of all, I'm pretty sure that you just lowered the price, but anyway. That's all. Just wanted to point out how ironic that statement is. Getting review bombed on Goodreads currently by people who are choosing to only talk about the bad things in my story. It's pretty disingenuous, and I'm really kind of surprised that the writing community could be so hostile and unsupportive of indie authors. Edit, if you accuse me of writing my own reviews, you will be blocked. Edit 2, you're just jealous. Yikes. Edit 3, some of you make me laugh, like cackling maniacal laughter, because I don't think that that's genuine. Some of you touch my heart, and some of you make me realize George Carlin was right when he said that half of the human population is dumber than the dumbest person you've ever met. Cool. Edit 4, this is a great look for my reviewer. On a post where he was not named, he decided to come in and shit all over the author of the book he gave a bad review to even more, leading to even more negative reviews on my Goodreads account. If you guys want a good reviewer for your book, username Boomer229 is your guy. Sarcastic, if that wasn't clear from the tone of my voice. And then there's some comment from what appears to be a person backing him, but people are pretty convinced that it's a sock puppet account. These edits are hilarious. Are they? Are they, Orange Fortress? I've seen you post a few times about this book, and I'm really sorry for all this frustration you're dealing with. It's like, I don't think that this is, I don't think that this is real. So then Boomer started commenting, and as you could see from the edits, and Arlen said, as a response to one critique about the sky being red, "How about you just pretend that the sky turned red like I did when I wrote the book and get on with the actual plot? I mean, do you not have an imagination? Do I have to literally write, the sky grew brighter, slightly glowy, then it became more glowy, a little orange, brighter, yes, brighter, then it was a little red, then sorta red, then completely red." You're welcome for that dramatic retelling. It's extra spice. You don't have to tip me. Would that satisfy and get you to make it to the actual story? And people were like, "Bro, you're the literal author. Get a grip." Someone, assumingly this is Boomer, who said that, "Stop throwing yourself flowers. The cool part with the bear. No, you can't just say that. It might be cool in your eyes, but that's all. You're definitely too arrogant. You refuse our criticisms about your arrogance because you're too arrogant to see them. Yada yada." And Arlen said, "I shit you not. The bear scene I wrote is the best bear scene any author has ever put to paper ever. Hands down, no joke." Oh, baby. I bet you that this children's book I read to my children about a bear is better than any bear scene that you have written, but okay. Genuinely fucking hilarious. Hilarious. He was called out for using sock puppets accounts to promote his own book. One of them is verified his account. People realized that one of his reviews on Amazon was from somebody named MJ, which is definitely JM backwards. And also he thanked that person in his acknowledgments, but I kind of wonder if JM is his alter ego and he's thanking himself. That's just my theory. Don't quote me, but that's my theory. Then he got a 4-star review where the reviewer was being very generous in their star rating, but also took the time to give a ton of critical feedback. Very good feedback, very helpful. And instead of taking that feedback and saying, "Thank you, I will apply that to my writing now." No, not our man J.M. Arlen. Not our man Rasputin reincarnated. Not him. Could not be him. This man took this review and chopped out the one sentence that he loved from it. After reading all this critical feedback, took one section from the positive notes and then slapped that on his website with the reviewer's full name. He also took that sentence out of context as if he was saying that the book was a hell of a ride and not what the characters were going through was a hell of a ride. So he changed the context by splicing this sentence And then just leaving the reviewer's name and putting it on your website is just, oh my god. I cannot believe the audacity for you to misquote and then leave their name on there. At least you could have pretended it was somebody else. Like, it still would have been a lie and a bad one, but at least you could have pretended, JM. In honor of this, I decided to do our main man, Arlen, a little favor. As some of you may know, graphic design is my passion, and I decided to make him a new cover since his cover sucks. Sometimes I redo bad book covers by making marginally a little bit better bad covers. Here's my one for J.M. Arlen and the Crystal Keeper's Secrets. Have I even said the name of the book this entire time? Woof! Quality entertainment, that's what y'all are here for. And in this new beautiful A+ cover, I actually decided to put the spliced review, but instead of leaving Dylan's name on there like an asshole, I decided to take it out, and it's attributed to allegedly a legitimate reviewer. You're welcome. I didn't want to bring Dylan's name into this nonsense like a fucking creep. After the original post and arguing with people and then getting reviews and arguing with those reviewers and then getting good reviews and shitting on those people by doing cringy, weird shit, a bunch of people went and bought the book, or maybe illegally downloaded, who's to say, and read it, or maybe didn't, but either way, he got a slew of 1-star reviews. Even the ones that gave thoughtful feedback, he screamed and cried over. So yeah, he got 1-star bombed on Goodreads the longer this went on, and he decided to retaliate for some of those 1-star reviews by going and finding out if some of those people who reviewed his book were also authors, finding their books and giving them 1 star. A very Rasputin move. So there we have it, the story of J.M. Arlen, Reddit resident crybaby man, wrote book and mad about stuff. Authors, please don't do this. Please don't do this. Like, readers want to read good books, and even if you spend a bunch of time and money on something, sometimes that thing is still shit. One time I bought a Volkswagen, and we put a lot of time and money into that car, but it was not worth it in the end. It only lasted us 4 years. It sucks, and that happens sometimes, but in the case of authorship and the reading and writing book community on the internet, there are so many people like myself who get on here and do free labor to help people get their books out, get their books to be the best they can be before publishing. There are so many people who want to help. And in this Reddit thread, those people existed. They wanted to give fair, critical feedback, but if you're not ready to receive it, then you're not ready to publish. Honestly, this Reddit thread was really helpful for me. I have a work in progress. Who knows if it'll ever go anywhere, but this was really helpful for me in my writing because I'm also writing a fantasy to like know what readers are looking at. There's a lot of feedback that I never would have picked up just reading my own stuff, right? It really takes getting your stuff out to multiple people and getting feedback from different perspectives in order to see not only what people are looking for in story, but what you're missing in a story. The more eyes on it, the better. Also, TikTok is like the place for you to promote your books right now. If you can make a good TikTok and go viral, readership. So utilize those TikTok people. They will take your arcs, they will read them, they will review them. If you've got like a snappy cover, just having it out there, people are gonna be like, I want that. Utilize TikTok, utilize readers, utilize this Reddit thread, and don't throw a temper tantrum. There you go. Free advice. In capitalism, you're welcome. Anyways, thanks for watching. Let me know who I should do next. I'm so glad that people like left me ideas because having to search for these like myself, I'm like, do people even want to hear about, you know, so-and-so? So finding out that people like wanted to hear more about this J.M. Arlen situation, I was like, perfect. Say no more. I got you, baby. Let me know who next I should do down below. I used that word again. Who next I should talk about. Okay? Okay. Thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel, my Ko-fi account is linked below. You can also like and subscribe. That's the best way to help me out. And it's free. And again, capitalism. So yeah. See you next time. Bye.